ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Psychos and Sociopaths, this is going to be a weird one and a fast one. I kept on having troubles yesterday before I was recording, so it was a hassle. Basically, not gonna lie, lost my keys all day trying to find them. They were in the couch, stuffed in to the point where I literally almost scarred up my hand just to get my keys out of the couch because my couch devoured it and was chomping down. So we're just gonna go with a quick one today. I'm gonna keep on putting these out. I don't know if I have fans or anything like that, but I'm gonna do a quick one, probably not even that long. It's probably gonna be about 15 minutes on this one. I might go a little bit longer on this. I found this guy. I had another one. It's gonna take a lot longer, and I want to just put one out. And yes, it's kind of sad to do, just to put one for the masses, and it's gonna be halfway fun, I guess. But this is an interesting guy. I'm gonna go over Efren. Yeah, Efren Saldivar. He was a serial killer who murdered patients while working at a respiratory therapist. Basically, if you don't know, respiratory is anything dealing with the lungs. This is another nurse one, and we started out with nurse serial killers, and it's kind of funny that we keep on popping out nurses and everything, which they have a viable service for first responders and everything, but I'm trying to get the right words where I don't sound like a fucking douchebag and get people away from like medical centers and everything. But because, a healthy living is not somewhat, it's actually good on you. So, yeah. So I did a little bit of research on this guy, and it's kind of weird. Well, let's go over the guy real quick. Efren Saldivar, born in Brownsville, Texas. I don't know what it is with Texas freaking nurses. I'm going to tell you right now that Texas nurses, for some ungodly reason, has a habit of killing people. So if you have any kind of what do you call it? Emergency or anything, you're in Texas. I don't know if you should be careful or not. Just keep an open eye and ask questions. And look them square in the eye. If you see them dead eyes, those dead eyes, where they don't care anymore, that's when you know you might be in the wrong place. But anyways, Born in Brownsville, Texas, he graduated from College of Medical and Dental Career in North Hollywood, California. Well, this takes place in California. In 1988, he obtained work as a respiratory therapist employed by the Glendale Acuvist Medical Center. I don't know why they had to have that Acuvist. Glendale Medical Center would be perfectly great. Working the night shift when there were fewer staff on duty. These murders took place at the Avedis Health in Glendale. They had like 3 names. I looked at it when I was watching the some documentaries on this. It was kind of weird because they had like 2 names. They had the Glendale Activist Medical Center, and then on the bottom they had the Activist Health Glendale. So I don't know why they had to have like 2 different names to get people confused. Simple folk like me. Anyways, in Glendale, California, Saldivar killed his patients by injecting parasitic part. I'm gonna get this right, people.
Paralytic.
God, a paralytic drug, which led to this is basically the same thing that happened with our first actual. If you want to go back to it, but our first actual serial killer that we did on Psychos and Sociopath, me and Johnny left me. No, he didn't leave me. I get it to where these it's a lot easier for everybody to come together. We have one show that everybody comes together, and we split them off and do other things. But anyways, basically what they do is what she did. We'll go back to that real quick and we'll come back to this. I don't know why they do it this way. It's more a suffocation of the patients, or they go into cardiac arrest because they can't breathe. But basically there's a lot of drugs. They stop you from breathing. They put a tube in you so they can help you breathe, and that's the reason why they have those drugs, and they use those drugs constantly. But anyways, which led parasitic drug, which led to respiratory and cardiac wrecks. These drugs could have have included morphine, sodium chloride. The only reason why I know that name, and I could say that pretty good, because I think Vicky Don Johnson did use that drug too. Money did something else, as they were found in his locker with fresh used syringes. God, he did not clean up his stuff. First rule of serial killer: make sure you get rid of the evidence. Jesus. Yeah, I said it like that. I'm a horrible person. Mm-hmm. But you know, when you want to get rid of your evidence, he had all his stuff in the evidence locker. That's basically say, hey guys, there's DNA on each of these syringes that I killed somebody with. Good luck. Anyways, pancronium was used in 6 murders. This drug stops the patient's respiratory when they are about to be put into a medical ventilator. He was careful in the selection of his victims, choosing those who were unconscious and close to death. This led to no easy detection, raised in the rate of disparate. This is one of those words that my friends make fun of me because I can't really say all too well. So bear with me. Dispersion. I didn't say that right, but fuck it. You know what I'm talking about. Of the patient's death when he was on duty. This in turn hampered the investigation, as there was no easily description correlation between charges in the distribution or the rate of death and his shift partner. A commonly used term to examine whether malpractice is taking place. Shift pattern. God, his shift pattern. Fuck. His medical employment had ended in March 13th, 1998, shortly after he confessed to 50 murders, a confession he later retracted. Oh, God. Not fucking one of these. Yeah. Kill those motherfuckers. But yeah, I was just messing around. Just kidding. JK. JK, everybody. That gets you off on any kind of just you can murder a bunch of people. If you just scream out JK, boom, you're fine. You don't have to worry about it. You just say you're just kidding. You didn't do those murders. Even if they have the evidence, videotape, and someone was looking at you dead in the eye and they were stabbing you, you can just say, JK, just kidding, everybody. And they literally walk you out of the court. It's fantastic. It happens all the time. I mean, I was a correctional officer, and yeah. As soon as I said one of the inmates said, "JK, just kidding," I walked him right out the door every fucking time. We didn't have that many inmates. It was kind of strange. Anyways, and search for evidence that would have be strong enough to obtain a court conviction. The police exhumed the remains of the patients who had died while Salvatore had been on duty and been buried rather than cremated. Now, here's the thing on this. Just a little FYI on things that go in court and everything. To exhume a body, they have to have a lot of evidence before they exhume, and they have to talk to the family members just to get that body exhumed. The cops can't just go out and just unbury a body. So, sorry, my allergies are getting up. Anybody that knows that when I do this show, I'm like usually heavy medicating and histamine, so I'm like slurring half the time. But sometimes it doesn't work. Yay! But that's what it takes to exhume a body. It takes court order, a judge's sign, clarification from the family members. If they don't have any family members, you don't have to worry about that. You just got to get a signature from the judge just to exhume his body. So they probably had enough evidence, which he confessed, and then he later retracted, said JK, clarify, JK fixes everything. Basically got him out, and they exhumed the bodies. They went through the process. So they probably had enough evidence to convict him after his confession and everything. So the police exhumed the bodies. The maker that was being sought was unusually high levels of provolone. The marker. Sorry. Let me blow my nose because I'm getting confused again. Sorry. Okay, let's try that again. Or not. We'll try this again. The marker that was being sought was unusual high levels of provolone. That hopefully that's the right word.
Provolone.
Oh, provolone in the cadaver. In the cadaver. As the drug remains identifiable for many months, unlike morphine and
Succinylcholine chloride.
Succinylcholine chloride and morphine that are decomposed in the compounds relatively quickly. Police selected 20 bodies to exhume out of the total of 1,050 patients who had died at Glendale activist during the Saldivar shift. After the exhumation, 6 cadavers had evidence of the lethal dose of polyvolone. Medical records of these patients showed that the polyvolone found in their bodies were not subscribed to them by medical profession. On March 12th, 2002, at the age of 32, Salvador pleaded guilty on 6 counts of murder, receiving 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Salvador is incarcerated in California State Prison in Cordell, California. Now, another thing on this was the facility itself. The facility itself, which it's more or less one of those hospitals for trying to find a nice word. It's for elderly people that are very poor, poverty stricken. We'll go with that. That sounds a little bit nicer. Now, wait a minute. Oh, okay. I was looking at the actual activist health of Glendale. There was another murder on there. Dr. Peter Marvin Keller, husband of Natalie Florence Killer, was shot to death by a patient at Glendale Sanatorium October 1st, 1931. Interesting. But anyways, going back. Wow, it was a sanatorium at one point in time. Basically for crazy people. But basically what that place, it's a hospice. We'll just call it that. We'll just call it a hospice. That's kind of what it was. The number of victims, in his initial confession in 1988, Salvatore told police that he actively killed up to 50 patients, and he contributed to the deaths between 100 and 200 patients. Salvatore later confessed to killing at least 60 patients by 1994, claiming that he lost count after that, but continued killing for the last 3 years. New administration director in respiratory care department, Michael Robert McCarthy. I'm former president. They led the initial investigation and the Glendale Police Department. So I don't know how to read that one. I'll just go with the victims. Jose Alfredo Sabine Estrada. Victim's family accepted a $60,000 statement settlement from the hospital. Jen Chloe, the only victim who survived. Luna Skalaski. Hold on. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
Skidlowski.
Skidlowski. Okay. Now, I think he's still alive. Yeah, he's still alive. He's just serving his time. Now, he's at 53, so he's probably gonna kick the bucket soon. But in all reality, most of our cases so far, even though I think we've covered like 100. Sorry, I think we've covered about 100 killers since we started this up. So, or maybe a little bit more. But we've done our fair share of doctors and nurses on the show, and it's the people that actually, I mean, even this guy, when I was going through the documentary, he said he did it because he felt more powerful, more he was an agent of death. So a lot of people, yes, do go and work in the medical field because some of them are going off of the thing of they want to help others, but there's some of them, very few, very, very few, that are power hungry to the extent they have control of a person's life. Now, uh, you might be asking yourself right now, "Is like, well, how do we weed those people out?" You can't weed those people out. They're smart. They're intelligent. I mean, they're intelligent enough to where they can figure out how to say the right things to tell you that they're not crazy. They don't have that tendency. So I'm glad that some of the families victims got like a little settlement. I mean, money doesn't cure the fact that your loved one is gone, but uh, you can help others with it. That's another thing that kind of weirds me out when people die through like something like this or some accident in medical field or any kind of mishap through your life, so to speak. Insurance, you get wrecked and the other person has to pay. Everybody says like, oh well, you got a big chunk of change to most of that stuff goes to medical bills, dude. I mean, you're suffering, and I know a guy that got in a wreck, and he was working at Walmart. Not to say Walmart's not a bad company to work for, but he was working at Walmart, and he was scraping by because he still had to pay his medical bills, and that settlement eventually paid for the medical bills. And sadly enough, the state of Texas is one of those things. If you opt out and you pay for like it's just a show that you got the settlement was we'll say $4 million. The settlement was $4 million, but in the end it really goes out, and if you actually get that money, most of it goes to the lawyer, most of it goes to, because they get pro bono and they don't get paid. They get paid like a percentage of the winning if they win. Most of the time, they have other fees, and if they don't win that, they're a shitty lawyer. So most of those court cases are easy to win sometimes, unless the judges in the pocket. And yes, it happens. Judges in the pocket with the company, and they're getting paid off. It happens. It's sad, yes, but it happens. This is where the world goes. It sucks, but it happens. But that money doesn't solve everything. A lot of people is like, well, I got this, so and so got this settlement of $800 million. I'm like, no, you didn't. Not where did the? I mean, even the latest one, the Alex Jones, Alex Ross, Alex Jones, court case to where he got paid like a shit ton of money. He really didn't get if it wasn't the one in Texas that he got sued from, he got sued for $40 million. He probably only had to pay like $1 million. Now, the Connecticut one where he got like $950 million, that I'm wonder, just out of curiosity, see if Alex Jones's site is still around. Okay. Wow, there's a man. That's gotta suck because I'm looking through this stuff and it's like got Alex Jones, Alex Jones, Alex Jones. But there's a Southern Poverty Law Center. There's Alex Jones. Oh, okay. That is actually, yeah. Anyway, I don't see his actual InfoWars. Okay. He'd still have his oh, he filed for bankruptcy. That's probably the reason why. but it's just a curiosity. I mean, he's still up and going. He filed for bankruptcy. So, I mean, you can do that and they don't get anything most of the time. But anyways, that's about it. I've drawn off of I'm so sorry it's a short episode this time. A shorter episode usually. But life happens. Sorry folks. Next one we're gonna do the Iceman. Let me bring up his actual name. Because guy from work wanted to hear that one. I got a fan up at work. Yes, that happened. But Richard Kolginski. Me and Chris are going to go over that one. Chris is really fascinated about this guy, and a lot of people were talking about him in the chat and everything. So we're going to go ahead and go over Richard Kolginski. Sorry, not Robert. The Iceman. He was a hitman in I think Detroit. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.